good morning to you on this. It's a bit overcast out there. I just looked out the window. Clouds keep coming and going in the last couple of days. So today we are going to be using sort of right angle weave, but we're going to go around in corners and turn into different directions. We're going to be using different size of pearls, and let me just bring this in, different size of pearls to make a beautiful pattern. I just love playing around with different sizes of beads and how we can add them together and make them different components, and sometimes adding or taking a seed bead away. We can have like a straight pattern, or we can have a curved pattern. We can do all sorts of different things with it. I really do love it. I got samples here to show you, and I'm going to pop you over to the website and show you the kits on there. For anybody, I have moved my microphone now, so I'm hoping we got no more sound problems, but if there's anything, please let me know, because there's another couple of things we can do. But I need to know if the no sound Kelly's saying is that is anybody else can hear no sound, or is it only Kelly? Do let me know in the comments, because oh, good morning, Kitty. Anybody else? Let me know if there is sound. Can you hear me? I don't really. I did move this mic, so it should be all good. I don't know. It's maybe I don't know. Something might be no sound. Kelly can't hear any sound. Anybody else from Facebook can hear any sound? This sound is gonna be every single morning. It's gonna be our. Lindsay's saying in Facebook there is sound. So Kelly, maybe try to like turn your. Jenny's saying on YouTube the sound is okay. It's quiet, not so sound. Try to turn it up a little bit, because I have turned my volume all the way up here, so I don't know if there is anything. No sound on YT. Could it be that your tab is perhaps muted? Because Lindsay on Facebook says she can hear me. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's a YouTube problem. Dan is saying sound is very low. Good morning, Sheila, Elaine, good morning. I really don't know like what else we can do with the sound here anymore. Sound on YouTube. Jenny's saying, Tracy's saying good morning, Kitty. Right, okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to investigate this further, what's happening here. When I watched back like not last week, the week before's YouTube, for me it sounded okay, so I really don't know. We will investigate this further. Okay, cool. So Kimberly's saying all seems fine there. Good morning, Olimoi. Tracy said good morning. Right, okay, so I'm very quickly gonna pop you over to the website, and then we can get started making. It is a little bit, there is a few steps to this, so I just want to sort of get in there. Sound is there, but very low. I can try to bring the mic closer a little bit, and let's see what happens then. So I'm a little bit closer. I have changed it. I've had to really turn it up to get good volume. My sound is 96% to be able to hear you. Okay, so I will have an investigation. More investigation. It might be it might be time for me to go mic shopping and buy a new mic. I had this one for maybe 3-4 years, so it might be time to get a new one. Right, okay, so let me pop you over to the website. There we go, just sharing my screen. There we go. So we are, by now, you know the drill, totalbeads.co.uk you need to go to, and then there is so many, like if you look at the front page, there is so many things on the front page that you can like so many different segments of the website you can get there quickly by pressing on a button. I often like when I land on any page or any website, I often like go into the menu straight away, but often forget to look at the front page of the website. There is loads of different things on there. So we've been adding buttons at the top. You're gonna click on jewelry making, and then you're gonna click on video tutorials. And then let me just get rid of this little window here, and then you're gonna scroll down. There we go. And today is Pearl Dimensions necklace. We did this in the Bead Club some time ago, maybe a couple of years ago. I really love this project. I love working with different sizes of pearls. So we have got an offer on there today, which is £10.99 each, or buy 2 for £18. So I'm going to just click on one of them. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you what you exactly get. So you get quite a lot with this kit, because when you look at it, it has got a 10mm, an 8mm, and a 6mm glass pearl in there. It also have 3x4mm crystal rondelles. You got the antique silver sort of connectors on the side, what you're going to be using the front and the back. Because what I love something about this, that you make the front piece separately from the back, and if I would have had to stitch it all the way to the back, it would probably take me 3 times as longer, because you need to make more components as you're adding your units by units to your front. And sometimes I do love something which just goes all the way around, because it's for like a night out. It's really elegant. And sometimes I like something when I just have something at the front and I have just a clear strand of beads going to the back, and then I can wear it every day. And like, you can still wear it in an evening out as well. So you get and you get a toggle clasp in there as well. So you get a lot in this kit. So we have got, hold on, I'm going between 2 screens here. We have got 6 different colorways. So we got teal, we got cobalt ice, forest green, midnight, and we have princess pink and purple plum. Now I'm gonna demo with either the princess pink, the princess pink, we got the sample of it, the purple plum or the midnight. So do let me know which one would like me to demo with. We got the choice of the midnight, which is sort of I'll show you the beads themselves when we go down on the mat in a minute, and I'll get the purple plum. I'm a bit tongue-tied this morning as well. I had samples for this one, but the life of me, I've been looking at for half an hour. They're in such a safe place. I don't know where they gone. Kim is saying it's just dull and cool here. Yes, it's quite dull here. And you know what happened last night? My heating came on, so it must have cooled down really much, because like my heating is not turned off completely because of the hot water and everything else. So it just sort of turned down to, I think, 18 degrees or 17 degrees or something like that, and it came on last night. So it must have really cooled out there. So okay, right, let's go down to the mat so I can show you the samples. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna go back here, and then we're gonna come down here. Right, okay, cool. So I love something like this, and originally I call this Pearl Dimensions, because you got all sorts of different sizes of pearls on them, going sort of from the top towards the bottom, and that's what gives us a little unit. And each one of the units, as they sit next to each other, they make the whole front of the necklace curl. I really do. I think it's very pleasing to the eye, and I did a bit of different colorways. I kind of tried to add together different colors, where some where you got a lighter shade going to the darker shade, like these two, and some of them you got 2 darker shades at the top and more of a lighter shade in the middle, and these ones, like, we got completely different color in the middle, so it kind of gives you a different texture as well as you go on. Right, I'm gonna pop this to the side. I really do love them. And then just doing any beads, but you're gonna have loads of beads left over, anything to the side going there. So I'm gonna show you the other 2, which I haven't got the sample. So this is the midnight. So we got 10, 8, 6. We got the crystals and the seed beads. It's a very sort of a monochromy colorway there. I do love something like this, because you can wear it with a lot of things. And the purple plum is this one. So this one is, again, we got a lighter color at the top. Will be let me turn it around at the 6mm. We got darker in the middle and sort of an in-between color at the bottom. So again, mix the colors differently. So if you look at this one, it's lighter shade at the top, and the shade in the middle is sort of the middle shade, and the darker shade at the bottom. Again, this one is going to come out very, very differently, going to give you a different look. And then we have got these beautiful purple crystals, very light crystals, and a tanzanite color seed bead. So kind of like the seed beads is going to disappear in there. So purple plum. Helena, say hi. See the morning, Angela. Hi. So I think we're gonna go with the purple plum, which is this one. We're gonna, and just saying pink, please. I already have got a sample with the pink one, so I did have one with this one as well, but it's in the safe place. We all know the safe place. We all have that safe place. So I thought maybe demo with one which I haven't got the sample. Right, glasses. I've got 3 different glasses here on my desk. Just pop one on, just give it a quick wipe, because the life of me, I cannot thread a needle without glasses now. I think my eyesight was getting sort of worse and worse over the last 2 or 3 years, and didn't actually until I went and got my eyes tested earlier, like I think it was end of January, February time, start of February. I didn't know how bad it was, and now I can't thread a needle without glasses. But I often forget that I haven't got them on, because normally like during the day I don't wear them, and I'm trying to thread the needle, and it's like, what can I not see this? Why is it not going in? It's like, oh, that's why. So now I've got like glasses everywhere. So I'm just gonna cut these strings up, so get the pearls off. So when I was designing this, and for any pattern you want to make, you can always do so many different thread paths for the same look. And I think when I was making up the samples, I had like 3 different ones, but in the end I went with the easiest one. So we're gonna start on one end, and how we're doing this pattern is we do one big loop, and then we add the middle in, and then do the next big loop and add the middle in, and sort of all the way down across. So we're not gonna sort of go with the top and then come back on ourselves. We're gonna do it by unit by unit by unit as we go along, starting on one end. So let me just get the seed beads out. Is the bigger the bead, smaller the hole? Not necessarily. Beads are very, very different. So you could have like these pearls, they got quite a big holes. Sometimes smaller pearls have got smaller holes, but sometimes equally smaller pearls can have similar size holes as the bigger ones. It's really depending when they manufacture them, what do they use to drill the glass out. So like crystals, when this one is quite tiny, but the hole on it is not so much smaller than on that very big pearl. So it's really depending on the manufacturing process. And with seed beads as well, obviously the bigger the seed bead, the bigger the hole on them. So with those ones, these ones are size 11, so you could go down to size 15, which are the smaller. So I always kind of how I measure the whole size on a bead, because you can't put anything through it to measure it up. So how I always test new beads is I take a bead and I put my needle through that bead, and then I go through that bead again and again and again, and see how many times I can get through the same bead with the needle and thread, the same thread, and that kind of like gives me an indication how big is the hole and how many times I can go through it if I put it into a pattern. So for example, the microcrystals, which are like quite small, they are size of a size 11 bead. However, the hole on them is just as big as the seed bead ones, because I can go through 5 or 6 times with my needle and thread. So that's how I always measure them. But it can be different from shop to shop, to manufacturer to manufacturer. So always test your beads. Good morning, Annie. Right, okay. And just saying, I can't thread one with my glasses. I think it depends if you like short-sighted or long-sighted. I am both apparently, but they did tell me that if I keep wearing my glasses, then my long-sighted might get better. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go for another test at the end of August, and then because I already got like cheapy pairs at the moment from Boots, but I will get proper ones as well. I just wanted to see how I get on with them. Right, okay, so we are gonna get started with the make because I just want to do a few units with you. So the pattern you're gonna pick up first, you're gonna pick up, and I'm gonna slide these down. I'm gonna pick them up as I say. So you're gonna pick up 1 seed beads, 1 crystal, 4 seed beads, another crystal, another 2 seed beads. I'm gonna pick up the largest pearl, then another 2 seed beads, a crystal, another 4 seed beads, another crystal, another 2 seed beads. I'm going to pick up the smallest pearl, so adding the top and the bottom, and a single seed bead. Now you could knot your tail and then your working thread together. I don't like to do that because if the knot then seeps into the hole of the beads, you won't be able to go through that bead anymore. So what I'm going to do, and we're going to come around this unit again, so it's going to very quickly, it's going to sort of tighten up on itself. So from here, I'm going to go through the seed bead, crystal, and 2 seed beads to form a loop from my tail end and pull this up nice and tight. So we have got the top and the bottom part of our little unit here. I'm going to pick up the 8mm pearl and I'm going to drop this in there. I'm going to take this down so you can see it, and I am gonna place this in the middle. So on this side, I'm coming out of the middle, so I'm coming out just after the second seed bead there. So I'm gonna have to go, and I want to suspend this in between the 2 seed beads on either side on the other side. So I am gonna go up. I'm gonna go up only 1 seed bead here, so it's the second one from the crystal on the other side, and I'm gonna pull this up, and we're gonna come back through that pearl, and we're gonna add another thread path in there. So I have got my middle pearl in there. Now to be able to connect this to our next unit, we're gonna need a sort of a figure of 4 seed beads here. So I'm just gonna pick up 2 seed beads, and I'm coming out of the second seed bead out of this 4 stretch here, sort of coming out of the top. I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna go through the 3rd seed beads from the top, and again from bottom to the top. And I pull this up. So now I got my figure of 4, like a little loop of beads there. And what I want to do, I want to be able to have, and I left this a little bit loose so you can see it. So this pearl, this 8mm pearl, has got a thread path going towards the top of the loop, and what I want to be able to do to have a thread path going to the bottom as well, so kind of centralizing that pearl. So I'm going to pull this tight, and I'm going to have to pick this up. I thought if I leave it on a mat you will be able to see it better, but pick this up so I can pull it tighter. So I'm going to go through the pearl. There we go. And then I'm gonna go downwards. So I'm gonna go through 2 seed beads and the crystal and the 2 seed beads. I'm gonna go along the bottom, the pearl, and I'm gonna come up on this side. So I wanna come out the second seed bead from the top, just after the 6mm pearl. But when I come up, can you see this unit of 4 here? So it has got a connection with this side of the unit of the 4 has got a connection with the whole side of our unit. So what I want to do when I'm going up, I'm going to go through a 2 seed bead crystal and seed bead, and instead of following the thread path which I have there already, I'm going to turn outwards and I'm going to go around totally on this edge of the beadwork. So can you see what that just did? It just pulled this seed bead right in the middle of our unit of 4, just sort of made it nice and central. And if you see at the top where it's only got connection with that side, it's still sitting to the left. So when I go up, I'm going to go through this seed bead, I'm going to go through a seed bead, crystal seed here. And when I pull this tight, it's going to centralize that seed bead as well. So it's just going to sit nicer there. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to start doing our next unit. And what we're going to do again is pick up the outer edge all the way around in our next unit. So for there is a PDF there's a PDF that do come with the kit. However, what I like to do, because each one of the units are exactly the same as we go along, what you're going to be adding really is from here, from the this, if I looked at one side of the sort of seed beads, I'm going to start with a seed bead, I'm going to add a pearl, 2 seed beads crystal, 4 seed bead crystal, 2 seed beads pearl, and 1 seed bead, and I'm going to go up in this unit in the middle. So I'm going to repeat that, and as I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to bring it down for you. So seed bead, I love doing, and the reason sort of why I pointed that out, because I love doing something when, like, maybe a thread path have to go backwards and forwards a little bit, but unit by unit you're doing and adding the same beads. So therefore, like, you don't have to take your eyes off so much of your beadwork because your pattern is in front of you in your hand. So 1 seed, 6mm pearl, 2 seeds crystal, 4 seeds crystal, 2 seed 10mm pearl single seed, and I'm going to go up in this side, and I'm going to go up to 1 seed crystal, 1 and 2 seeds. So I'm turning in the middle, and I'm going to go up on the right hand side of that unit. Now I am ready to pick up my 8mm pearl to add in the middle. I'm just going to pop this down for a sec. I'm going to take this down. And then I'm going to go up. There we go. In that seed bead, the second one of the 4, I'm going to pick up 2. I'm going to come through the seed bead below. I'm going to go through the pearl. Now this actually, yeah, we could have done it a little bit differently before we added the 8mm pearl. So again, I'm going to pay attention where my thread is connected to. So my thread is connected to, out of the 4, connected to the bottom right seed. So I'm going to go towards the top. And then I'm going to turn around in this unit of 4 because I want to get to the bottom and all the way up on the other side. So I'm ready to add. I'm going to add a couple more units. So I'll show you again and again. So I'm just going towards the bottom, towards the 10mm pearl. Following my thread path there, which is already there. Through the pearl, and once again I'm going up, oops, all on the right hand side, and I need to go through the outer 2 of the 4 seed bead there. There we go, and I'm going to go and stop just there in the middle of that 2 seed beads at the top. The voice is low. I'm gonna have to investigate this. I'm not sure what happened. Johnny saying, I was enjoying the cool fresh air 5:30 this morning. It was so nice. Yeah, as I said it earlier that my heating came on last night. So I'm starting, and unit by unit we're going to do the same. So I'm starting the same again. So 1 seed bead, 6mm pearl, 2 seed beads, crystal, 4 seed beads, another crystal, 2 seed beads, and a 10mm pearl, and a single seed bead. So I'm going to take this down, and if you can see, the pattern is kind of sort of the same from the middle. The only difference is we got 6mm at the top and we got a 10mm at the bottom, and that's what's going to curve our necklace. So I'm going to go up in the 2nd seed bead on the unit before and through the crystal. And here really how you're going to do this, the middle, we can either just go through a single seed bead and then do the loop around afterwards, or I could follow these 4 seed beads around first. So I'm facing down in that unit of 4 before I add the 8mm pearl. Either or way is good. Then I'm gonna go up here in the 2nd seed bead in the unit of 4 seed beads on the other side. I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, go up in the 3rd one. So I'm forming a unit of little 4 circle there, back through the pearl. So this time I'm gonna assess it again. I got the thread coming from the top, so I'm just gonna go straight to the bottom. And then along the seed, 10mm per seed, and all the way along up on this side. And when I get to the middle, I'm going through the 2 seed beads I just added. So I'm centralizing that middle pole, and I'm gonna stop the seed bead before the last one, before the pearl. She's saying this is a lovely pattern. I like it how it reinforces the thread path by going around. So there's many different ways you could create something like this, and this is what I absolutely love and adore about beadwork, that we can have and I'm sure like people who are really skilled at knitting or other crafts as well, they will say the same about their crafts. But with beadwork, what I love that you can create a very similar look and almost sort of identical look with different thread paths and different ways how you pick up your beads. So we could have sort of added these top circles all the way along and then come back and add the bottom ones. There's many different ways you can have the same look with beading. It's all about like how you go through the thread path and how you change. So now I came from the bottom, so I'm going to go to the top. It doesn't matter if you loop around before or after, as long as you loop around these 4 seed beads. So they have got a nice thread path pulling them together. But sometimes when you're doing something, you can go along with the thread path and all of a sudden you sort of turn around the wrong corner, and like, you know, I sometimes panic, and you don't have to, because with especially something like this, which is right angle weave ish, because we're going around big and small circles, you can just keep on going and go around again. There we go. I'm going to add 1 more unit and then I'll show you how to add the sides. So 1 seed, 6mm, 2 seeds, crystal, 4 seeds. The kits are $10.99 each, or you get 2 for $18. this week on them. You get a lot. You get a 10 mil, 8 mil, 6 mil pearl in there, crystals, seed beads, and you get the little component as well, what you need, the little connector to be able to turn, because really and truly these look like a 3-strand necklace underneath each other to a single strand going to the back. I love using, and these connectors are so decorative. So I'm going to go around in that unit before I add the pearl, so it's easier afterwards. But either way, even if you go around that little unit of 4 first and then add the pearl, or you can add it afterwards as well, they're both good. 2 seed beads, and I am gonna come back and turn downwards and then pull this tight. Oh, I'm gonna have to add 1 more unit, because on the very last unit you don't add the 2 seed beads. So we're gonna quickly run around and add 1 more unit, so I can show you how to add the little connectors. And there's connectors comes in all sort of size and decoration shapes. I really do love how they look. So you need to add 1 more unit, because I added in the 2 seed beads, and the very last one we want a straight edge. So 2 seeds, well, 1 seed pearl, 2 seeds crystal, 4 seeds, large pearl, no crystal. I'm trying to say to you, and like I was already ahead with a couple of beads. There we go. Let me just pick this up. So 1 seed pearl, 2 seed crystal, 4 seed crystal, 2 seed pearl, 1 seed is the pattern we need to pick up. This is beautiful. How do you come up with the idea? Jenny's asking. Like really just playing, like sitting down and playing with the beads. And sometimes you have got, you know, you're seeing something completely different. Inspiration comes from all sorts of different places. I remember, and this is probably the best example I can give you, when I did the beaded Christmas tree years and years and years ago. The idea came from that we were in a shopping mall, and in one of the shops they had this big window display, and they had the baubles arranged in a Christmas tree shape hanging down from the top. And as I was looking at this, I'm not gonna add the 4 seed beads, because if this is gonna be our last one. So as I was looking at these baubles, and I was thinking that looks really good, and why, like, you know, I want to do that with beads. And the baubles were they were the same size in that one, but then when I sit down and started to work out, I tried it with sort of pins and wire and different things, of bits of pieces. For in beadwork to have that shape, the Christmas tree shape, you needed to change the size of you can keep the stitch and change the size of the beads, and it gives you that shape. Or you can keep the same size of beads, but you change the stitch. So sometimes it's easier to change the stitch and keep the same beads, and sometimes it's easier to use different beads but keep exactly the same stitch as you go along in the steps. So inspiration can come from anywhere. When you look around you, you know, sometimes I'm out on a walk and I'm taking pictures of, like, you know, a tree roots or something, which is and it looks like sort of a coralline necklace, or, you know, it can come from anywhere. Really, it's just like kind of looking at shapes and looking at, or sometimes colors around you, and replicating that. And then you combine it with all the different stitches and all the different things, but, you know, we've been doing over the last years and years and years. You can always come up with something different. So something like this, we could do like in a netting pattern as well, but then this pearl wouldn't be directly under the two pearls on the side, it would be more to the middle. It would look very similar but not the same. So it's just then sitting down and playing, putting the beads in front of you and just playing and playing and playing until you have got, you know, your thread path, what you're happy with, and your design. And you know, as I said, we could have done in many different ways. We could have done these top two rows all the way along and then come back on the bottom. We could have done it that way as well. So many different ways. Right, okay, so let's say I went all the way along and I have, depending of how many units you want at the front, if you want sort of a shorter length, or if you want the longer length, you have got a lot in your kit there to be able to sort of work with. So this one got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This one has got 17. I know one of them is a little bit shorter. This one is a little bit shorter. This one has got 13. So depending on how many or how big of a front do you want on you. I can actually, what I'll do very quickly, I'll just pop this in front of my shirt. So, and I have to sort of perk a bit. So this one would be about that much. And if I do it longer, then it would go, get it the right way around, it would go a little bit more around. So depending where you want or how much do you want on your necklace, you will do as many units. Now on the very last unit, don't add the 4 seed beads. So I just added the pearl and I went up in that single seed bead. I'm gonna go up all the way to the top and I'm gonna come out of the seed bead here, which will be coming out if we were adding a new unit, but I'm not going to be adding a new unit this time. I'm going to pick up a single seed bead. I'm going to go through the loop on the clasp, well, not clasp, the connector, and I'm going to come back through that single seed bead. I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to come out again the seed bead, the one before the last, so the second seed bead. I'm going to pick up another seed bead and go through the bottom loop, and then I'm going to go back through the seed bead and I'm going to go back through the seed, crystal and 2 seeds to the middle, pull this up, and I'm going into the pearl. So I'm finishing all the thread paths to the very last pearl. Pull this through. So I have added my little unit on there. Now, whenever you're adding anything like this to, you know, anything what you have created, any unit, or you know, anything you have, you know, sometimes you can have a little bit wider beads sort of frontage going on, or even if you do this as a bracelet and it's straight, sometimes you can have a bit narrower and your component is a little bit wider than what it needs to be. So you can always, what I do and always what I suggest to do is, before you add anything on here, I would just put this next to it and see where they would connect. Now I could have taken it out, and this is sort of what I want to point out. I could have taken it out of the very last sort of seed bead just before the pearl and then add a single seed bead on there. However, that would then kind of pull the beads on the top of this unit as well. So always just pop it there next to it and make sort of a mental note of where would be the best to come out to connect to that connector or even clasp or anything you do. So I'm going to go around. So the next step we would do in this one, we would go around at the bottom all the way, and I'm going to go all the way to the top on this side, just following my thread per friend. Now what I want to do next is I'm going to pop back and just go through this very last seed bead and the loop again, because I want to come out of this seed bead, and instead of turning down this time, I will run around the top. So I'm going to go seed, pearl, seed, and straight again I'm going to be seed, the small pearl, seed, and I'm going to do this all the way down to the other side so I can add my end component there as well. If you run out of thread on one side, you can always take more thread off your bobbin, and that's why the way we started it, picking up a single seed, because if I turn this around, you can just continue your beadwork exactly the same way on that side. So I want to run along the top just to pull these beads together. Now this is where you have got a little bit of if you pull this really tight, your necklace is going to curve more. If you keep more of a looser connection here, then your beadwork is going to be sort of more flatter. So if I, at the moment, so let's see, that's more of a straight, and if I pull on this more, can you see that's sort of curling up on itself? So depending of how tight you do this, is your necklace is gonna be more flatter or more curvy. Right, so that's sort of towards the end, and but don't forget, this would be much more units than what we have there. It's just like time, because it takes, probably for me, it would take a couple of hours to make a necklace like this. And then what I would do, I'm just gonna take a bit more thread. I would work these ends off, so my necklace would be on the connectors, the middle part. I'm going to take a separate piece of thread, and I'm going to add my needle on there. Now you can make any pattern with any of the beads you have left, going towards the back. We're going to start off right by the, I mean, you can add the seed beads, like if I show you, this one has got no seed beads in between, it just got the larger pearls. This one has got seed beads in between the crystals. This one has got crystals in between the pearls, no seed beads. This one has sort of, again, similar to this pattern, but a little bit different. So you can make any pattern up going towards the back. So I got a new thread and needle. I'm going to come through this very middle of my component here, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I need a few more pearlies here. I'm going to start picking up a pattern. I do like to use all of the beads going up, so kind of you taking the pattern from the middle all the way to the top. So I'm going to start, I'm going to start with a couple of seeds and then a crystal. I'm going to have a 6mm pearl. Let's put crystals in between. 8mm pearl, crystal, 10mm pearl, and I'm going to alternate going up and down in that fashion. So it's always a crystal in between, and I'm going up and down in the sizes of mine. Just got a little knot on my thread here. There we go. I'm going to be going up and down on the sizes of the pearls. So crystal next, 6mm crystal, 8mm crystal, 10mm, and so on. This is what I love about making your own jewelry, that you can have exactly the size of necklace what you need. With necklaces probably I'm not that bad, but with bracelets I am like, I can't really buy a bracelet. Very rarely that I find something in a shop what would fit me, because I got quite sort of large wrist, and also I love having my bracelets loose. So usually the bracelets will fit me, but they will be tight, and I don't like, for me that's too, I don't know, restricting, or don't really know sort of why, but I like my bracelets very loose. So usually I was never able to make, or never able to buy anything. I always had to make something if I wanted to wear. Right, no, small one. I'm just sort of trying to talk and check the pattern at the same time. Don't want to make a mistake here. taking this all down. I need a few more crystals. So again, I'm gonna measure this to this one because I got one here already. Probably need 2 more units on here of going up and down in size, and that will be the right amount-ish to do this side of the necklace. So I started with a small pearl, so I will want to finish with a small pearl at the end, just going 8 mil, 10 mil, and then I'm coming down in size, and that's it. So this is with just stringing the beads on, crystal. Ooh, I just pinged the crystal across the room. 8 mil crystal pearl and a crystal. I'm gonna pick up maybe 3 seed beads by the glass, 2 or 3 seed beads, and then I'm gonna take my toggle. I'm gonna go through the loop on the toggle. I'm gonna pick up another 3 seeds, and I'm gonna go back through the crystal, pearl, crystal, all the way down in my, I'm gonna pull this tight. I'm just gonna work my way. I usually wrap this around my finger. I wrap the whole strand as I go down, so I can very quickly, I can suspend the work between my fingers here, and very quickly I can sort of push the needle through all of those beads I need to go through. There we go. And just keep going down, trying to keep sort of a tight tension behind me. And obviously the tail end is still coming through that loop, so it can get a little bit looser there until we go all the way down. Right is saying, at least you make it look easy. The colors are so pretty. I love mixing colors. That is one of my favorite things to do. The love mixing colors. I would love to have like a crystal, the glass, or like a table with sort of a glass top table which has got maybe another glass top underneath it and a lamp or some sort, so I could put like crystals and or sparkly things in between and just sit there and look at it. I'm sure I was a magpie in a previous life. I was 100%. I'm just gonna bend all the way down. I'm gonna pick up this couple of seed beads, and I'm gonna knot my tail end and my working thread together here. Sort of a left, so I usually, when I got a straight line like this, I do 1.5 knots. So I'm going to go left over right, right over left, left over right. And then I'm going to take the tail end and my working end back through. I'm going to go through loop first and just back up through a few beads before I cut it off. There we go. And the seed, the tail in the way. Seed and then into the crystal. If you want to be extra secure, you could go all the way up and take both your tail end and your working end up to the clasp and do another knot there, and then you're gonna be like, you have 4 strands in there, so that will be extra secure. So that's it. And then I would trim the end off, and then have we got like a half a necklace here. Let me just zoom out. There we go. So we got sort of half a necklace, but I would repeat the same process towards the other side as well. And yeah, that's it really there to it. I love necklaces where you can do more of an intricate design at the front and more of a simpler one at the back. I think that's really good to sort of save time in a way, because you only kind of, your time consuming part is in the middle, and going up it's sort of quicker to string beads on. Right, so this is the purple, is it purple plum? I'm so bad with names sometimes. just let me give you, this is the purple plum, yeah, that's right. This is the purple plum. We also have Princess Pink, which is starts from a light pink to like a very nice maroon pinky color. And then we have the Midnight, which is your grays. So this is the other one, which I couldn't find a sample, but this is would be very light gray going to a black, so it's a really good, you can wear it anywhere. And then we have got Forest Green, which is this one, and we got this beautiful sort of caramel color seed beads, champagne crystals, and this, I love this caramel color pearls in the middle as well. It just kind of gives you like a really forest look, because forest is not just green, it's got browns and the branches and everything else. Next one is the Cobalt Ice. So here we got again dark top and bottom and lighter in the middle. And last but not least, we got the Aqua Teal. I love this colorway as well. Here again we have got a lighter pearl at the top, and as we come down we got the darker shade right at the bottom. I love designing this, and I love making it. Kimberly saying lovely. Riati saying, I hope I'm saying your name yet. I love that pink. Thank you, beautiful necklace. Oh, absolutely gorgeous, darling. I love, love, love. Thank you so much. It's really like, I think for any designer, I love your feedback, because, and not just the good one, I want the bad feedback as well, because you know that's what makes us go forward. That is what makes us design more, and you know, and adjust and do things. And like for me, it's the biggest sort of pleasure in all of this when I design something and you really like it and you make it yourself and you enjoy it, not just to make, but you enjoy wearing it. That's really that's what I love the most. If I can sort of give you the love of crafting, sort of get you infected with the love of crafting. That's love this cover. Rachel is saying that's what I love the most. Lindy's saying I love them all. Will be very hard to choose. They are 2 for 18 at the moment, so $10.99 per kit. Two colors for 18. So you know you could go for 2. It makes sense to go for 2. Bless. So you could have two different colors. Right, everybody. Have a beautiful Wednesday. Almost at Friday. I don't know what's going on in my head this week. Almost at Friday. But have a beautiful Wednesday. I'm off to the Bead Club, and we are doing a beautiful sort of double modified right angle bracelet today from 12 o'clock. So I'm gonna go and have some breakfast. I haven't had breakfast yet. I'll be back with you next Wednesday. No, I'll be back with you tomorrow. I'll be back with you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So do tune in, because you got the Thursday night lives as well now. So do tune in at 6 p.m. tomorrow, and I'll be back here as well on next Wednesday at 10. Everybody have a beautiful week. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a beautiful weekend. Hopefully the weather didn't really brighten up so much outside. Hopefully the weather is going to be nice and warm at the weekend again. I would love to have some warm weather. I just love it. And I'll see you soon. Bye.